The world celebrates visible wins, but it's shaped by invisible ones, by quiet decisions made early, by patience practiced when no one is watching, by discipline that doesn't need applause. Invisible success doesn't look impressive in the beginning, that's the point. Because while others burn energy proving themselves, it's quietly building something that cannot be rushed, cannot be copied, and cannot be stopped. Most people misunderstand success because they only recognize what's visible: titles, money, recognition. But visibility is not power. Real power is leverage, and leverage is built quietly. Invisible success is not about hiding. It's about timing. It's about understanding human behavior, how people underestimate what they can't measure, how they dismiss what doesn't demand attention, and how that blindness creates opportunity. The people who master invisible success don't rush milestones. They don't explain their strategy. They don't compete loudly. They position themselves silently while the world watches the wrong signals. And once you understand this psychology, you'll realize why the most dangerous form of success is the one no one sees coming. Every story of invisible success begins in a moment that looks like nothing. No announcement, no celebration, no visible shift in direction, just a private realization that comfort now comes at the cost of control later. This decision doesn't feel heroic, it feels inconvenient, and that's why most people never make it. The first real money changes behavior. It creates confidence, then pressure. Pressure to upgrade, pressure to display progress, pressure to prove momentum. The world rewards early signals, so people rush to show them. But invisible success begins by recognizing that early visibility is often a trap. Upgrades feel earned. A better car feels like freedom. A better home feels like stability. A better lifestyle feels like arrival. But upgrades don't just improve life, they define it. They set expectations. They lock spending patterns. They narrow future choices. The invisible builder sees this early and pauses while everyone else accelerates. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this?" they ask something sharper. "Does this increase my leverage or just my image?" This question is uncomfortable. It forces honesty. It delays gratification. And most importantly, it removes ego from the decision. Looking successful is not neutral. It commits you to a pace, a lifestyle, a version of yourself that must be maintained. People begin to expect consistency. You become predictable. Invisible success avoids predictability. It protects optionality because power grows fastest when you still have choices. Choosing restraint creates distance. Friends upgrade, peers celebrate milestones, conversations change, you appear cautious, unambitious, even behind. But restraint is not hesitation, it is patience with intent. And patience is misunderstood by those who mistake speed for progress. So the invisible builder stays quiet. No explanations, no defenses, no comparisons. Silence becomes protection. Because once people understand your strategy, they project their fears onto it. Invisible success grows best outside of opinion. This phase feels slow because it produces no spectacle, no external validation, no visible milestones, no applause, only habits, only discipline, only accumulation. Most people abandon this phase because it doesn't feel rewarding. But this is where advantage is built. Eventually the gap appears, not in money, not in status, but in freedom. One group becomes locked into maintenance, the other remains flexible. This is the first separation, quiet, invisible, and irreversible. And it begins with a decision only one path was willing to make. People assess quickly. They measure success by what's visible: titles, upgrades, confidence, noise. If you don't signal those things, they file you away. Average, harmless, non-threatening. Underestimation begins here. Not because you failed, but because you refused to perform. Being underestimated feels uncomfortable at first. It challenges ego, it tempts correction, it invites explanation, but correction costs leverage. The moment you clarify your position, you surrender surprise. Invisible success understands this. It allows misjudgment to exist because misjudgment creates freedom. Expectations shape behavior. When people expect little from you, they monitor you less, they question you less, they interfere less. This creates space to experiment, to build, to fail privately. Underestimation removes pressure and replaces it with opportunity. Most people seek acknowledgement to feel real. They want their effort recognized, their strategy understood, their direction approved. Invisible builders resist this urge. They understand that validation is often a distraction disguised as support. True progress doesn't require agreement. When people stop watching you closely, you start seeing clearly. You observe patterns. You notice mistakes others repeat. You study decisions without being studied. This position is powerful. Information flows toward those who aren't perceived as a threat. Ego wants correction, it wants recognition, it wants to be seen accurately, but ego is expensive. It forces premature reveals, it demands external confirmation, it attracts attention before readiness. Invisible success requires ego discipline long before it requires skill. Underestimation compounds. While others defend reputations, you build quietly. While others maintain image, you increase leverage. Over time, the gap widens not visibly but structurally. One side becomes fragile. The other becomes resilient. Eventually, perception lags reality. People still see the old version while a new one already exists. This is the most dangerous moment, not for you, but for them. Because when reality finally reveals itself, there is no time to adjust. The true power of being underestimated is not dominance, it's lack of resistance, no opposition, no sabotage, no competition. You move freely because no one thought you mattered enough to stop. When invisible success becomes visible, it doesn't announce itself. It simply arrives fully formed, fully controlled, fully undeniable. And by then, underestimation has already done its work. We live in a world obsessed with instant. Notifications ping, deals flash, trends rise and vanish within hours. The mind wants reward immediately, comfort immediately, recognition immediately. Most people give in. They chase what is shiny, what is easy, what is immediately visible. But invisible success plays differently. It sees beyond today, beyond the dopamine of the moment, beyond the applause of the crowd. Delayed gratification is a skill few master. It is not denial. It is not deprivation. It is intentional patience, strategic waiting, sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term advantage. The wealthy know this. Every choice is a lever. Every action can multiply. Every delay compounds. Time, properly leveraged, becomes the most powerful currency. While most people consume, the few invest. They delay the car, the upgrade, the fleeting luxury. They channel energy into assets, intellectual property, businesses that grow silently, investments that compound quietly, skills that outlast trends. This is the magic of leverage. One action, multiplied over time, becomes unstoppable. The impatient trade speed for appearance. They want fast recognition, fast profit, fast approval. Builders, by contrast, measure success by decades. They plant seeds, water them consistently, and wait for the natural rhythm of growth. The delay is not punishment, it is protection, it is focus, it is leverage. Compounding isn't just money. Knowledge compounds, connections compound, reputation compounds, habits compound. The smallest advantage today can become a mountain decades later. Invisible success understands this law. It works quietly, it multiplies invisibly, And then, when the time is right, it becomes undeniable. Every time you chase instant reward, you trade potential. Time is spent. Opportunities are lost. Leverage is reduced. Most people never notice because the loss is invisible. The wealthy, however, track it. Every impulsive decision is a cost. Every delayed choice is an investment. Time is the ultimate asset, and it cannot be replaced. Most people follow the calendar, reacting to deadlines, trends, and crises. The few, the invisible, follow rhythm, not reaction. They understand cycles. They anticipate shifts. They move when the conditions are optimal. Delayed gratification isn't passive. It is active strategy. It is patience with purpose. It is timing mastery. Over time, repeated delays create momentum unseen by others. While the masses sprint after short-term gain, the patient gain compounding leverage. This momentum is silent. It is invisible. It is unstoppable. And when it finally reveals itself, the results feel like magic. But in reality, it was quietly built long before anyone noticed. Delayed gratification creates freedom. The impatient are slaves to immediate needs, trends, and judgment. The patient control their environment. They direct their energy. They allocate resources. They act with foresight. Freedom isn't granted. It is earned through time, discipline, and leverage. Wealth is not a sprint. Influence is not immediate. Mastery is not visible at birth. Invisible success understands the horizon. It sacrifices the trivial now to dominate the meaningful later. Time is the ultimate multiplier. Patience is the ultimate power, and delayed gratification is the ultimate weapon. No one achieves invisible success entirely alone. Most people float through life relying on chance connections. Family, colleagues, old friends, sometimes helpful, sometimes limiting. The wealthy know the difference. They surround themselves intentionally. Every connection is a potential lever, every interaction a subtle multiplier. Opportunity rarely knocks on the door of isolation. It flows through networks, through relationships carefully nurtured and expanded. Look around. Who do you spend time with? Are they ambitious, curious, and driven, or content, complacent, and comfortable? The human mind is influenced by its environment. Habits, beliefs, and standards are contagious. Invisible success isn't just about who you are, it's about who shapes you. The wealthy curate influence. They seek peers who challenge them, mentors who guide them, advisors who illuminate unseen paths. Your network is more than social, it is strategic. A mentor is not just someone to admire. They are a mirror to what is possible, a map of shortcuts, mistakes avoided, and lessons learned. The majority never seek mentors. They stumble alone. They repeat errors. The wealthy, however, accelerate their trajectory. They study patterns. They ask the right questions. They listen to wisdom earned through experience. Time saved, mistakes avoided, clarity gained. These are invisible advantages. Peer pressure isn't just a high school phenomenon. It persists in adulthood, subtly dictating comfort zones, ambition levels, and risk appetite. Most people inherit small thinking. They adopt the dreams, fears, and limitations of those around them. The wealthy reverse it. They seek peers who stretch them, who provoke thought, who expose blind spots. Influence can either tether you to mediocrity or catapult you to unseen heights. The difference lies in choice. Opportunities often hide in plain sight, nested within communities, groups, and forums unknown to the average observer. Wealth builders enter these circles intentionally. Investment clubs, mastermind groups, online communities, elite gatherings. Here, knowledge flows freely. Deals form silently. Partnerships spark before the world notices. The network is a living system. The wealthy do not chase opportunities. They cultivate the environment where opportunities emerge. Think of relationships not as social conveniences, but as instruments of leverage. An introduction today may lead to a partnership tomorrow. A a shared idea may lead to an innovation next year. A timely recommendation may open a door decades in the making. Leverage compounds over time, and relationships are its foundation. The more intentional the network, the greater the invisible power it generates. Invisible success is not selfish, it is reciprocal. Give knowledge, guidance, and value. Invest in people genuinely. The wealth of opportunity flows back in kind. Connections create trust, trust multiplies influence, and influence expands your reach beyond what you can achieve alone. Not every network is valuable. Not every relationship is worth investment. Invisible success sees patterns, who acts with integrity, who demonstrates foresight, who is aligned with growth rather than stagnation. The wealthy do not waste time. They invest selectively. They prioritize quality over quantity. They understand that a single powerful connection often outweighs dozens of casual ones. Many opportunities are invisible to those outside the network. The difference isn't luck, it's access, it's context, it's preparation to recognize value before it is obvious. By building the right network, you gain the ability to act early, to leverage relationships strategically, and to create momentum that others can't even see. In the end, a curated network doesn't just support growth, it multiplies it. Knowledge compounds faster, decisions are better informed, risks are mitigated, and opportunities become amplified. Invisible success is never a solo journey. It thrives where relationships, influence, and strategic interaction intersect. The network is not an accessory. It is the engine behind sustainable, scalable, and invisible success. Compounding is invisible. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't promise instant results. Most people underestimate it. They look for shortcuts, for quick wins, for dramatic leaps. But invisible success is built quietly, step by step, day by day, decision by decision. Small actions, repeated consistently, multiply over time into results that seem almost magical to the untrained eye. The wealthy understand this. They focus on consistent, high-value action, knowing that the invisible effects of compounding eventually surpass any single effort. Time is the ultimate amplifier. A single decision today, repeated tomorrow, can generate exponential results in years, decades, even generations. Most people measure success in months. They expect progress immediately and grow frustrated when it doesn't appear. The wealthy measure in decades. They understand that small advantages today, when stacked over time, create enormous influence, wealth, and freedom. Patience is not passive, it is strategic. Time itself becomes an ally, compounding every deliberate action. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger picture. Learning a skill, saving a little more each month, reaching out to a mentor, investing in knowledge, building a tiny network. Alone, these actions seem insignificant. Repeated, compounded, and strategically aligned, they become the foundation of extraordinary results. The wealthy rarely rely on luck. They rely on the power of incremental, consistent effort. Compounding applies not only to money, but also to effort. A single idea implemented today may yield fruit years later. A skill practiced daily becomes mastery. A relationship nurtured quietly turns into opportunity. Most people stop after the first visible result, or worse, after failure. The wealthy continue, knowing that effort, when compounded, transcends immediate outcomes. This is why some fortunes appear overnight, but in reality, they are decades in the making. Knowledge is the ultimate compounding asset. The more you learn, the more you can learn. The more you apply, the more insights emerge. Each lesson, each book, each observation builds on the last, creating a feedback loop of intelligence and advantage. The wealthy invest in learning relentlessly. They read, reflect, experiment, and refine. This invisible accumulation of knowledge compounds quietly, allowing them to act decisively while others hesitate. Money itself is compounding action. Investing consistently, allowing returns to grow and reinvest, creates wealth over decades in a way that labor alone cannot. Most people view income as consumption. The wealthy view it as a tool, a seed planted for growth. They let time do the heavy lifting, while others work harder without multiplying their results. Compounding is patience in action. Connections, too, compound. Each person you help today may connect you to multiple opportunities tomorrow. Each mentorship received may yield unforeseen insights years later. Each network interaction expands influence quietly, invisibly, exponentially. The wealthy don't chase attention. They cultivate relationships deliberately, knowing that the compound effect of influence far outweighs isolated efforts. Compounding is invisible, but discipline makes it unstoppable. It requires consistency, patience, and resistance to distraction. The wealthy master habits that reinforce their growth. Daily learning, strategic action, meticulous investment, careful networking. Most people abandon action too soon. The wealthy persist. The difference between stagnation and extraordinary results is invisible, measured in years, not days. Compounding thrives on delayed gratification. Resist the urge to consume immediately. Delay pleasure. Prioritize action that multiplies over time. Luxury is not instant. Wealth is not instant. Influence is not instant. The wealthy act with foresight. They build silently, strategically, deliberately, while others chase temporary satisfaction. Time, patience, and repeated action are the secret currency of lasting success. By now, you begin to see it. Invisible success is not luck. It is not sudden. It is the result of compounding action across time, knowledge, effort, relationships, and capital. Every choice, repeated and refined, grows in power. Every small action, multiplied by years of discipline, becomes an unstoppable force. The wealthy live in a world where compounding is visible only to those who understand it, and nearly magical to everyone else. And this is the hidden edge, the quiet engine behind invisible, unstoppable success. Wealth is more than money. It is freedom, choice, autonomy, the ability to act deliberately, to create, to influence, to leave a legacy. Most people equate wealth with luxury cars, big houses, and flashy status. The ultra-wealthy see it differently. They understand that the true luxury is the freedom to live life on their own terms, to make decisions without fear, and to act without constraint. This mindset shifts everything. Money becomes a tool. Assets become leverage. Time becomes a weapon, and every decision aligns with long-term vision. The ultra-wealthy think in systems, not events. They see the invisible connections others miss. Every choice, every action, every investment is made with foresight, with leverage, with compounding in mind. Where most people react to circumstances, they anticipate them. Where most people chase trends, they create trends. Where most people see obstacles, they see opportunity. This vision is cultivated daily, through observation, reflection, and disciplined planning. It is invisible to the untrained eye, yet it drives every outcome. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is permanent. The ultra-luxury mindset is not built on excitement or emotion. It is built on structure, habits, and principles. Daily routines, deliberate action, and consistent reflection compound silently into extraordinary outcomes. Most people wait for motivation. The ultra-wealthy create results regardless of mood, through systems that enforce their strategy and habits that align with their ultimate goals. Comfort is the enemy of extraordinary success. The ultra-wealthy embrace calculated discomfort. They delay gratification. They take strategic risks. They tolerate uncertainty. While the average person seeks safety, they operate in a space where growth is inevitable, because growth always lies just outside the comfort zone. Pain is temporary. Lessons are permanent. And discomfort compounds into freedom, influence, and wealth. Every resource is leveraged: time, money, people, knowledge, influence. They multiply impact rather than effort. A single person working alone is limited. A network of people, systems, and capital working together creates results that defy the limits of hours and energy. Most people trade time for money. The ultra-wealthy trade leverage for exponential results. This is the invisible advantage that separates ordinary from extraordinary. Knowledge compounds faster than money. The ultra-wealthy never stop learning. They study human behavior, markets, technology, and society. They read, reflect, experiment, and iterate. Every insight, every lesson, every observation becomes a tool for strategic action. Where most people assume they know enough, they assume nothing. This constant hunger for knowledge creates invisible advantage after advantage. No one achieves ultra-luxury success alone. The ultra-wealthy curate their networks carefully: mentors who guide, peers who challenge, communities that open doors. They understand that influence is compounding. Every meaningful connection multiplies opportunity. Most people underestimate this power. They inherit networks by chance. They fail to see the invisible social rules. The ultra-wealthy create them and move fluidly within them. Time is their ultimate currency. They prioritize, they schedule, they protect their hours. Every day is intentional. Every action is aligned with long-term vision. Where most people waste hours reacting to noise, they design their days to compound impact. And over years and decades, this mastery of time produces outcomes that seem sudden, but are decades in the making. Patience is not passive, it is strategic. The ultra-wealthy play decades-long games, building businesses, nurturing knowledge, growing networks, compounding investments. They resist short-term gratification because they know the invisible power of time multiplied by action. Most people quit too soon. The ultra-wealthy persist, and persistence, compounded over time, becomes unstoppable advantage. At last, the ultra-wealthy live life differently. They are free to act, free to create, free to explore opportunities invisible to others. They have mastered mindset, leverage, discipline, patience, and vision. They understand the invisible rules. They bend them deliberately, and the result is a life of invisible success, quiet, deliberate, unstoppable, and free. Wealth is no longer just money. It is choice. It is autonomy. It is the ability to live life on your own terms. This is the ultra-luxury mindset, and it is available to anyone willing to see the invisible, to embrace discomfort, to act strategically, and to compound action consistently over time. You've seen the traps, you've felt the weight of conformity, comfort, and fear. You've understood why most people never achieve real success, even when they work harder than anyone else. And now, you've glimpsed the other side, the mindset. The discipline, the leverage, the patience, the strategies that quietly, deliberately, and inevitably create invisible success. The truth is simple, yet brutal. Success does not arrive by chance. It is not handed to you. It is built intentionally, strategically, patiently. Every choice you make, every action you take is either reinforcing limitation or building freedom. You can settle or you can rise. You can follow the crowd or you can bend the invisible rules to your favor. The ultra-luxury mindset is not about flash or status. It is about freedom, choice, autonomy, the power to live life on your own terms. The question is, will you act or remain trapped in invisible limitations, forever chasing a dream that seems just out of reach? Remember, once you see the invisible rules, you cannot unsee them. And once you act, your life can never be the same again. If you want more insights into mindset, strategy, and the silent rules of success, subscribe to Capital Lux. Every video is designed to show you not just how to earn, but how to live luxuriously, freely, and deliberately, while the world chases the illusion of safety. Watch the full story on my channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.